For the past 6 or 7 years we have not decorated our house for Christmas because we're not exactly Christmas people, but I guess, well, 2020 gets under skin for everyone, so this year I decided that we need a Christmas tree and we need a homemade Christmas decorations, and that's what we are doing here today. And because apparently at this point I'm a crazy dog lady, of course I need a dog themed decorations for my Christmas tree, so I'll be making a salt dough Christmas decorations. I chose this project because it seems easy and wouldn't take so much time, and the decorations can keep for the next years, and also it's recommended for children, so let's see if I can bake better than a 5-year-old. The recipe for salt dough is really quite simple. You only need salt and flour and water. And the proportions are really easy. You need 1 cup of salt. I'll be using cups for this recipe. Usually I would measure everything in grams, but in this case it's more important to have like equal parts, so I'll just use cups for this case. So 1 cup salt and 2 cups flour. And you'll need about 1 cup of water, but they suggest not to put everything at once in, so I don't know, 3/4 of water goes in and then we'll see how it goes. Let's go to the stand mixer. And now is the moment when you add extra water if the dough is not coming together. This seems to be about right, like it's sticking together and it's not too sticky to my hands. Did that make any sense? And obviously you can't make any dough without tasting it, so here it goes. Yep, it tastes exactly as salty and terrible as it should. Oh my god, why did I do that? At this point you have to roll your dough, and in order to make extra sure that it doesn't stick to the rolling pin and to the surface, I'll be flouring it. Right now I'm taking just half of the dough that I made, and I'll be rolling it out in roughly like half a centimeter thick. Put them on a baking pan that's lined with parchment and embrace the little imperfections. Now is the time to preheat the oven, and actually that's one thing that really drove me crazy while I was looking at all those recipes, because they all agree on like the ingredient proportions, but I couldn't find 2 recipes that would agree on at what temperature and how long do you have to actually bake them. Which is, oh, why do you do this to me? Like, I came across these recipes that said anywhere from 1 hour to 12 hours. Like, what is wrong with those people? Anyway, I did some reading, and it turns out that like you don't really have to bake the salt dough. You only need to dry it out, and so you don't want to use too high temperature, so you don't want the ornaments to puff up. You just need them to dry out. But I also kind of want to do it quickly. I have to get to the agility training today, people. As I was filming it, they finally delivered our Christmas tree. Yay! I absolutely could wait for my husband to put it up, but I'm a strong, independent woman who can put up her own Christmas tree. So let's get to it. The Christmas tree is up. Now I just have to let it settle down, and then I'll get to the decorating. I ended up painting the ornaments while on my weekly call with my friends, and it took way more time than I ever expected. And one problem was that I discovered that I don't have any acrylic paint left in the house. I had assumed I have them, but I only had left like an oil paint, and oil paint has its problems in this setting, like it couldn't stick to the ornaments as nicely as I would have wished, and it also takes insane amount of time to dry. It's 4 a.m. in the morning and I just finished painting the ornaments. It took only 6 hours, so that much for my quickie project for this Christmas. What I had thought to be a really quick project ended up taking me 3 days, and even then after 3 days the paint hadn't dried completely when I were putting all the ornaments on the yarn, so they ended up staining my hands and kitchen and everything. But I still really loved the project. I really enjoyed that. It was so fun, even though it took way longer than I expected. And I really love the end result. I really like how the Christmas tree looks, and my husband liked it. And the dogs aren't too bothered by it. So I think it was worth it. If I were to repeat that, I would do several things differently. First, I definitely wouldn't use the oil paint. I would definitely go for the acrylic paint. I would go and buy it or order it. I would make the holes for the yarn bigger, because it was quite a hassle to get the yarn through the ornaments, and that took way more time than it should have. If you're one of the few people who have watched this video till the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, and please let me know in the comments if you would attempt something like this by yourself, or if you would enjoy seeing me doing something like this again. This was quite an unusual video for me, but I don't know, maybe I should be doing more of that. I don't know, I really enjoyed that. So subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you next week.